Counting down our top 23 movies of 2023, starting at number 23, Asteroid City. Scarlett Johansson is in it. I think Wes Anderson has made better movies. So the rules to this is, if the movie didn't release in theaters, then it's not on the list. Number 2022, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I've never really been a big Transformers person, to be honest with you. I just thought this was like a good movie to just like sit down and watch popcorn. Number 21, The Boy and the Heron. Number 20, all right, so this was the first movie of 2023 that I saw. And I actually genuinely enjoyed this movie. It actually reminds me the short film that we made called Casey. Number 19, TMNT, Mutant Mayhem. When I was a kid, I was a big TMNT fan. I grew up around the one that was around like 2004, 2005-ish, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With this one, I don't know what it was. There was nothing wrong about the movie, but I really liked that they were actually teenagers. You could hear it in their voice. I fell asleep a few times. The story wasn't really doing too much for me. Look, I don't want to be doing this alone, so comment down below what were some of your favorite movies of this year, and we might feature you in a future episode. So go ahead, leave a like. Let's jump right into it. Number 18, Barbie. I thought Barbie was cool up until the point it got to like the third act, then I think it started falling apart. Number 17, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was very safe. I know it was the first movie of this year to generate $1 billion. Now, number 16 is The Flash. I definitely enjoyed The Flash way more than I enjoyed Aquaman 2 because it offered a lot more emotion. Now, number 15 on the list is Blue Beetle. The thing about Blue Beetle that I feel bad about is that you could feel the lack of budget because originally this movie was supposed to be released on HBO Max or Max. I'm still gonna call it HBO Max, HBO, come on. Number 14, you gotta give it to the movie Shazam 2. Again, we got a shorty from Jersey. I'm gonna keep saying that. What's up, Rachel? Oh, my voice cracked there. What's good, Rachel? Number 13 on the list is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Tug on my heartstrings. Did not expect to care that much about Rocket Raccoon. I always thought he was a cool character, but damn, that backstory. The only cons about this movie is that you could clearly tell that he had to compromise with Disney on stuff because obviously Gamora wasn't supposed to be there. Number 12 has to go to Iron Claw. Zac Efron was jacked in this movie. I actually didn't even expect to like this movie that much. It was just so heavy. Like, it was just tragedy after tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. Number 11 on the list, we got Killers of the Flower Moon. Martin Scorsese. It was 3 hours long. Look, I don't think this movie is for everybody. A lot of people complained about the timing. I think it was just spot on. This is where you guys are gonna start clicking the dislike button. I already know it, because above Killers of the Flower Moon, at number 10, for me, it's gonna have to be Creed 3. I'm sorry, a lot of people didn't like Creed 3. I know. I'm a sucker for the Creed movies. Number 9, surprisingly, Dungeons and Dragons. I think this franchise has a lot of potential. I was genuinely laughing watching this movie. Number 8, Timothée Chalamet in the movie Wonka. Bruh, let me tell you something. Wonka was different. It was basically, for me, a kid's version of The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm a sucker for the entrepreneur that starts from nothing and works his way up. Number 7. For whatever reason, I saw Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning like 4 times in theaters. I know Tom Cruise felt like it underperformed a little bit. Tom Cruise in his 50s doing his own stunts. Like, it's just that, like, he just keeps finding a way to be a daredevil. At this point, a stuntman. Number 6 on the list has to go to my boy, John Wick Chapter 4. Damn, we're on the 4th chapter. The action, the top-down shots, the characters, everybody is their own specialized thing. And it's a reminder that if you love movies enough, you could just make fire for fire's sake, art for art's sake. We get into our top 5 movies of the year. But I gotta do some honorable mentions because in December, I didn't get to finish that later half. So I do wanna mention I did not get to see Poor Things yet. I just recently saw American Fiction, which definitely would have been somewhere on the list. Number 5, I think this might be the most slept on movie. And I wanna say I saw this movie like 2-3 times in theaters. John David Washington, the creator. Gareth Edwards, the director. Yo, I love this movie. It talks about AI. It takes place in a future world. It kind of reminded me of like a live action anime if you were gonna be redoing Ghost in the Shell or Akira. Number 4, also didn't expect this. The Japanese one, Godzilla -1. I only had one small issue. It was a nitpick, but it's a nice little, story circle. Very heartfelt movie that it just follows this one character and his decisions during World War II, I want to say it was. Now we're getting into our top 3s. This is where it gets real. Number 3, I gotta go to Talk to Me, bro. Made by fellow YouTubers Raka Raka, and I just think it's very inspiring because that is the direction that I would like to take as a filmmaker, where it's like, I've made a handful of short films. At some point, I want to get to the point where I could create feature films, and just seeing these guys with their creativity and the fact that their essence is still there. This was the first time I think I saw a horror and I out loud said, bro, this is horrific. And in that moment, I was just like, oh, that's why it's called a horror. This is the first time I felt horror in a horror movie, in a very long time at least. Now, number 2, it's Oppenheimer. If Nolan doesn't get an Oscar for this movie, he's never going to get an Oscar ever in his life. I don't know if you guys know this, but Oppenheimer was schizophrenic. And one thing that I call these edits in this, I call those schizo edits, right? When you're seeing things that's not there. Personally, when I'm doing it in my work, I call those schizo edits. And I thought that it was very interesting that Oppenheimer did that. There is actually a scene that I think genuinely deserves the best editing, because there's a scene where when Oppenheimer's mistress disappears, it looks like she's drowning herself. But then there's a schizo edit of a glove holding her head down into the water. I saw Oppenheimer, I want to say at least 3 times in theaters. I saw it the first time in 70 millimeters, and yo, I'm telling you right now, let me tell you what I think Oppenheimer is gonna win. I think Oppenheimer is gonna win for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Lead Actor, Best Supporting Actor with Robert Downey Jr., Best Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt is definitely getting an Oscar for this performance. Best Original Screenplay, I don't know about Best Cinematography, but it really just might, because he keeps going on and on and on about how it's shot in camera, which Hoyt van Hoytema is walking around lugging this huge, loud IMAX camera. Best Original Screenplay, and then it's also gonna get Best Adapted Screenplay. I think it's also gonna get Best Editing. I don't know if you're able to win Adapted and Original. I think you are, because technically Oppenheimer is an original movie. I thought Oppenheimer was gonna have competition with Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon. I think right now its only real competition is Poor Things when it comes to Best Picture. Oppenheimer is going to sweep. But just because it's that good of a movie, it doesn't mean that number 1 can't go to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That is how you do a movie. I think the movie was flawless, pretty close to flawless. I really love the art style. I love how the art influenced the subtext of it all. I love Miles' relationship with his mother. I loved everything about this movie. Gwen, I didn't like her character in this movie. She's a likable character. Hold on, where am I pointing? She's a likable character, but I ain't like the way she hold my boy Miles, bro. She hold my mans. She got a lot of work to do, and all her hoe-ass spider friends, bro. They got a lot of work to do to get back on my good side. What were some of your favorite movies of the year? I think 2024 has some fire in store for us. So if you want to see 24 of my most anticipated movies for 2024, click here, and I'll see you in the next encounter.